Are we live?
Alrighty, everybody, and welcome back to another broadcast here over on the High Velocity Racing Network. We are still deep into our playoff run here in the Truck Series on Sunday nights. Of course, as you can tell already here, we are going to be at Richmond Raceway. Short track racing here tonight once again. These trucks are going to be slick, but that's going to make it all the more interesting to go ahead and watch as these trucks get going tonight. Looking forward to this one, though. Right now, we've got 22 drivers on track. I'm sure we'll have a couple more that'll end up trickling on in here in just a few minutes' time, as we've got about 2.5 minutes left in practice. Travis George right now on the top of the practice chart. She's a driver that is historically known to be a fan of the short tracks, and so far that is showing to be true here in practice tonight. See a few drivers having some issues there, and we were talking about it briefly before on the podcast on Friday. A lot of these guys are probably going to be having some issues off of turn 2. I'm sure we will see a couple of self spins off turn 2, but nonetheless, everybody should be able to manage. Qualifying going to be wrapping up here, or excuse me, practice is going to be wrapping up here. We will be getting on to qualifying in just a moment. But if you are in the chat, let us know in the chat who your guys' pick is for the race tonight. You know, a decent amount of these guys have been putting in the practice, getting some coaching sessions alike. But that is going to conclude our practice here. Qualifying will be underway shortly. Really quick before these drivers get going, we'll pull up some information here. Week 18 at Richmond. I know it says 17, but we are on week 18. 160 laps tonight with stages at 40 and 80. Track temp is, or the ambient temperature is 84 degrees outside. Track temp going to be 95 degrees. 37% humidity, so going to be a little bit slick out there, but we will go ahead and hop on board with Looks like Travis George is the first of our drivers to get out there on track, so we will hop on board and see what time he can put up. Again, a driver who historically has shown his appreciation for the short tracks here. So it looks like he's going to be going for a little bit of a normal run here on his first lap. Probably see a couple guys, and he will actually have an issue there, so that's going to be pretty detrimental for him. Let's hop on board with KT. Well, we lost KT, but Brad Dorr puts himself on the top of the list right now. We'll hop on with Mike Kufel. Mike Kufel gets his name at the top of the chart momentarily with a 22.68. KT McCann takes the top spot on his second lap, followed by David Meacham. KT, another driver who's had some success on the short tracks as well. There we go. Corey Moore goes up a little bit there. See if we can tune back in with Travis. He's on the apron, so we'll stay with Patrick Camburn here. Right now showing P10. Getting a little loose off of turn 2. Put a little bit of unnecessary heat in his tires here. Kill his run a little bit, so he might be able to improve a position or two. Which that he does. He bumps himself up into the 8th place spot. Hopping on board now with Bryce Tucker. Andre goes up to P4. Bryce Tucker goes up, gets the number 7 truck in 7th place on his first lap. We'll see if he can improve on that. Tucker stays in 7th. Sean Happick now out on track. His first lap puts him in the 8th spot. It looks like the second lap here, as per usual, is going to be the money lap for qualifying. Let's see if he can improve on that any. Looks like he gets a decent run out of 4. And that bumps him up into the top 5. John Shields out on track now as well. John Shields going to be scored in the 14th spot. So that looks like that should about do it. All right, we'll get everybody settled up and ready to go, and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We will go ahead and start with your Grow Masters grid here. Starting in P1 on your poll tonight, we've got the number 95 of KT McCann, followed by the 13 of David Meacham on his outside, as well as Sean Wilder and Andre Carvalho rounding out your second row with Sean Happick and Mike Kufel in 5th and 6th. Rounding out row number 4, we've got the number 93 of Thomas Long and the number 7 of Bryce Tucker, followed by Brad Dorr and Kyle Rogers in row number 5. Row number 6, we've got Patrick Camburn and Ryan Seabolt, followed by Corey Moore and John Shields in row number 7. Rounding out the 15th and 16th positions, we've got Kian Fry and Hunter Jock, followed by Travis George and Zachary Tyler. Chris Weiniger going to be running out the 19th spot. He's got some penalties tonight to deal with. We'll see how he's able to bounce back. And he's also got Matthew Chase on his outside with Frank Zimmel and Samuel Moser. That was your grid, sponsored by Grow Masters. Grow Masters is an attractant with 30 different vitamins and minerals, as well as an all-natural organic dewormer. Unlike many other brands, Grow Masters has a large ratio of healthy and beneficial ingredients for deer and a lower amount of salt. With 2 irresistible flavors of red apple and persimmon, Grow Masters will bring the deer in and help them feel better. When the deer feels better, he eats more and grows more, meaning a bigger rack for your wall. Feed those deer Grow Masters 365 days a year for that trophy deer that you've always been dreaming of. For more information, you can head over to their website at www.hhwildlifeproducts.com. Thank you again, Grow Masters, for hopping on board and sponsoring our series. We couldn't thank you enough. But these guys should be set to rock and roll here shortly. KT McCann, we'll highlight him again, getting on your pole position here tonight. KT has had a rather interesting season, to say the least. Yeah, we'll see if he's able to hold on to his spot here. And again, we will go over these track conditions just one more time. Should see it pop up over here on the right side of your screen. 84 degrees out there with a 36% humidity, and the track temp has now gone up to 105 degrees. We saw it a little bit here in practice that some of these guys are going to be struggling on the exits of these corners, so it's definitely going to take a few laps for these guys to get a rhythm and get a groove. But if they're able to do so, we should see some really good, hard, close racing here at the short track of Richmond. Richmond is definitely one of the more interesting short tracks on the schedule. So we will see how that all pans out. But there you go. You see all the trucks lined up here on the starting grid. Definitely a track that can be known for its chaos. Here we go. We see those drivers firing up those NASCAR engines. The pace car going to be taken off here. These drivers going to get rolling here. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to all of those of you who are in the chat. Supporting your favorite drivers. Everybody getting set to take off here. Again, 160 laps. Stages are at 40 and 80. These drivers will be awarded with 3 extra sets of tires for tonight. So we'll see how these drivers are able to manage it. The fuel window that we're getting here is anywhere between 50 to 52 laps is what we're being told. Of course, that always changes throughout the race once these guys get a little bit more data for their telemetry, but Fuel shouldn't be an issue here in any of the stages tonight. So it's really going to put an important role here in the tire wear. But you guys can see now lights are off on the pace car this time around. We will be going green. You see these drivers wiggling back and forth, trying to just get that little bit of extra heat in the tires. KT McCann going to be looking to get a very hot start on this initial restart. Green flag out here at Richmond Raceway. KT McCann doesn't get that great of a jump. David Meacham actually gets a pretty good jump on the high side. He's going to go ahead and clear KT into turn one, looking to get that clean air early. See everybody panning out. David Meacham going to lead your first lap here at Richmond Raceway. See the number 93, Thomas Long, looking to dive in on Bryce Tucker. 2x2, everybody just trying to get their feet wet here for these first handful of laps. Thomas Long able to complete the pass. Looks like we might have a little bit of damage on the number 60 of Brad Dorr. We got one down there in the grass. That actually is the 93 of Thomas Long. Caution doesn't come out. That's going to hurt him. Let's hop on board and see what happened. Yeah, Thomas Long gets loose, and it looks like we may have had an issue with KT McCann as well. Yeah, KT just gets loose on the exit of 2, makes contact with that inside wall. So catastrophic for KT and Thomas Long as they were up front. Still a lot of race left, but they're going to have to do a lot of fighting to get back up. David Meacham now looking to extend that gap on Sean Wilders. It looks like we've got a battle now for P3. Sean Happick looking to make a move on his teammate, the number 19 of Andre Carvalho. They're going to be side by side coming into 3. Sean going to have the advantage of the low side, able to clear Andre. Andre not going to put up too much of a fight at this moment. So a little bit of calamity early on, but no cautions as of yet. Looks like Patrick Cameron may have had a little bit of contact with the wall. The 16 and Travis George getting a little loose on the backstretch, trying to put the power down. We saw he had a little bit of a mess up in qualifying, so I know he's a driver that's going to be looking to make a hard charge towards the front. Bryce Tucker currently sitting in your 6th place position. And Bryce Tucker gets on the gas a little bit too early off of turn 2. Able to save it though. We still continue to stay green. Looks like we got a little bit of movement back here. Hunter Jock getting past. Matthew Chase now looking to make a move. He gets past the number 11 of Frank Zimmel. Zachary Tyler looking to capitalize on that as well. We'll go back up with your front though. Sean Wilder trying to close the gap on David Meacham. David starting to run away with this one just a little bit. We've still got 30 laps to go here in stage number 1. Mike Huffel now making the move on Andre Carvalho. Looks like Andre's going to hold on to the position for now. Mike going to look to attack again, goes hard on the brakes into turn one. He's got to be careful, though. He's going to be under pressure from Bryce Tucker if he doesn't get this pass made quick. We see Camber now diving down on the inside of Bryce Tucker. Tucker able to hold on to the position for now. Camber close on the quarter. Contact with Bryce Tucker. Sends him around on the front stretch. Tucker slides up across the track. Everybody is able to hold on to it. No more additional contact, but yeah, Camburn just gets to the quarter of Bryce Tucker and sends him around. We saw it live, but we'll go back and we will take another look. So he gets the run off turn two here. Dives it in, tries to get to the bottom. He's able to throttle up through the center of the corner and just makes contact. You can see he's trying to get out of it, but damage has already been done at that point. So we'll see if that one will come back to haunt him. You know how these tempers can flare on these short tracks. Bryce Tucker not going to be too appreciative of that one. Luckily, as he slides up across the track, he doesn't collect anybody else. That could have been a lot worse for him, and that's going to really hurt the tires on that number 7 truck as well. All that heat from getting slid around like that, so he's going to have to try to do a good job of getting those tires cooled down as much as possible here on these caution laps. A couple of those drivers that did have those penalties to serve. We'll get a lap back. We'll see exactly who is going to be the beneficiary. It looks like number 53 of Chris Weiniger is going to be the winner of the lucky dog here on our first caution. So I just want to get confirmation. Yes, that does put him on the lead lap once again. Lights off on the pace car, so we will be going green this time by. We saw David Meacham got an amazing restart, or amazing start rather, on the first start of the race. Now that he does have control of the box, we will see if he can capitalize on that. And David Meacham gets a good restart. Sean Wilder, though, not too far behind. Sean Happick there as well. These drivers are going to have to be careful. Those pace laps, those tires are going to get cooled down just a little bit. We see a lot of movement out back here, though. Guys fanning out, trying to make use of this restart and get the positions where they can. Still side by side through the back of the field here. Samuel Moser under attack now. Tucker looking to get through the field. Hunter Jock has a moment, able to save it, but KT McCann and Bryce Tucker are going to be trying to get their way back up through the field. You see Tucker's driving a bit aggressive, trying to make up for some time. Drives it in real deep in turn 3 and 4. He's going to lose the spot to Bryce Tucker. And for the most part, our front 10 drivers are all single file. Travis George doing an amazing job so far. He's all the way up to P5. Looks like Travis George going to attack on the 84 of Patrick Camburn. Able to complete the pass. David Meacham looking to run away up front there just a little bit. Sean Wilder, though, not letting him get too far ahead. Gap staying steady around that 4/10 mark. See here, we hop on board now with Travis George, just how careful these guys have to be on the exits of these corners. Travis still getting loose all the way up there at the wall. Hearing him just really ease into throttle there. So far, though, everybody doing an amazing job keeping it on track. On board now with Kyle Rogers here, scored in the 9th place spot. KT McCann, he's all the way back up to 11th after having that little mishap there on the first stint. KT McCann now looking on the inside of John Shields. John Shields able to clear him into the corner. We'll see if KT's able to get a run on exit, and he does. And yet again, gets loose on exit, able to save it though. Slight contact with the wall, going to come out in front of the track. But KT just really having big issues putting that throttle down on the exit of the corners. He's going to have to really start getting a grip of that, or else his night is going to be ended. We've seen him do that twice now. He's been able to get away with it twice, but if it happens again for a third or a fourth time, he's not going to be so lucky. The gap still staying steady between David Meacham and Sean Wilder right now at about 4/10. And we did miss it, but Travis George was able to get around Sean Happick in the number 52. So that puts Travis George back up to 3rd. Got just 9 laps to go here in stage number 1. We'll see if he's able to get to David Meacham or Sean Wilder, just under a 1.5 seconds back from our race leader. Gap is starting to close though, just a little bit. We'll see if it'll be enough. And right now we're just about single file all the way through. KT McCann still trying to hold on to the 13th place spot. That gap is closing a little bit between Travis George, but I don't know if it's going to be closing enough. And George starting to fall back a little bit here. He might be under some pressure from Sean Happick. Travis had to work his way all the way back up to the field, so you wonder if that really had an effect on his tires. Just 4 laps to go here in stage number 1. Shields now under a little bit of pressure from Matthew Chase. Matthew Chase trying to get into a points paying position here. They're going to be battling for the 10th place spot. Shields able to tuck in front for now, but Matthew Chase not giving up just yet. Just 2 more to go here in stage number 1. Chase able to get around Shields momentarily. Gets a little bit loose on exit, trying to put the power down. John Shields goes way up the track. That should give Matthew Chase the position, and it looks like it does. So Matthew Chase will put himself in a points-paying spot if, and only if, he can hang on to the 10th place spot. But coming out for your green and white checkered flag here in stage number 1, the number 13 of David Meacham just has to hold on for just 1 more corner, and it looks like he will able to do it. So David Meacham going to be your stage 1 winner, followed by Sean Wilder, Travis George, Sean Happick, Patrick Camburn, Mike Kufel, Andre Carvalho, Ryan Seabolt, Kyle Rogers, and Matthew Chase does hold on to that 10th place spot here in stage number 1. Stage points important here as we continue to round out the rest of the season. Just 2 races left after this one. Of course, we've got some more super speedway racing next week well, not next week, but our next week of racing will be at New Atlanta, and then the season finale at Homestead. So a lot of things could change after Atlanta. We will let these guys get in on pit road and make their stops. And then we'll see if we can dial in our stage 1 winner of David Meacham. So far, your top 10 is all chose to pick KT McCann with a close call. Frank Zimmel scoring a lap down, so it looks like he's going to elect to stay out and take the wave around. Try to get back on the lead lap. Your pole sitter KT McCann gonna have to continue to try to claw his way back. Close race off pit road. Meacham able to get away with it though. And let's see if we can't dial up our stage. Sorry about that, but our stage one winner here, the number 13 of David Meacham. We've been missing him here in a couple races, but he makes his return and comes in with a bang. Some birdies on the street may or may not have told me that you were putting in a decent amount of practice for this track, and so far it's paying off, man. How are you feeling out there?
I'm feeling good. I don't feel fast, but I guess that's the secret here.
Yeah, seeing a lot of guys struggling on corner exits, and KT McCann has had a couple close calls with that inside wall. What are you trying to tell yourself to be able to just keep it straight and not, really get too heavy on the throttle on the exit of the corners?
I finally understood that saying of string attached to throttle.
Gotcha, yeah, it's definitely an important one. And so far, you're doing an amazing job out there. A lot of race left. We'll see if we will see you again before this thing is all said and done. But congratulations on your stage 1 victory.
Awesome, thank you.
And there you go. Yeah, that was number 13 of David Meacham. Saw him putting some practice in with some very heavy hitters in the iRacing community. So this is definitely one that it looks like he had marked on his schedule. lights off on the pace car here once again. David Meacham has been pretty strong on these restarts. We'll see if that trend continues here. Everybody getting bunched up, we'll see. Meacham going about middle of the box so far, though. Pretty good start. Everybody able to hold on. Everybody's still jumbled up pretty good here. Everybody fanning out. We're 3 wide. KT gonna maybe run out of room, able to hold on to it. Chase gets a little bit loose. Center 3 wide between Kyle Rogers and KT McCann. Kyle Rogers gonna rope the bottom there. He gets a little loose, gets on the apron. So that's gonna lose him a couple spots. Okay, and I got a little bit of worried there. It said David Meacham was in the pits, but he is definitely out on track. So that's why we jumped ahead. I wanted to see exactly what happened here. A little bit of glitch there, it looks like. Let's see if we can't try to get that taken care of really quick. And uh-oh. And we see it again, KT McCann. On the inside of wall. KT really struggling on the exit of 2 right now. We knew that was going to be a focal point in tonight's race. As I say that, Ryan Seabolt goes around, may potentially have had contact. Another one out in the back. That's going to be the caution flag out. Yeah, it looks like we may have had some hard contact there. Yeah, Seabolt just a little too itchy on the throttle, trying to save it. Gets it locked down and nowhere to go for Kyle Rogers. Big impact with the left front. I believe we also, yeah, I was about to say, I believe Moser ended up going around as well. And did KT? Okay, that was a KT. Okay. Up on board with Moser, though, and see what happened, if he just kind of fell victim to the same thing or what happened there. Yeah, it just got loose, and that's pretty big contact with that inside wall as well. Yeah, you're going to see him going down pit road and going to be trying to get that truck fixed up. So lap number 52 of 160. Still seeing a couple of guys struggle on the corner exit of 2. That's going to be a theme of tonight. A really good restart for our top 4. Oh, big send from Mike Kufel into turn 3. Able to make it stick, though. Zachary Tyler and Kyle Rogers fighting for the 14th spot. Rogers hangs on to it for now. Ryan Seabold gets out of the groove a little bit. Here we've got a fight for third with Patrick Camburn and Travis George. And these two teammates, so they should show each other a decent amount of respect here. Travis George hangs on for now. But that battle is going to bring Sean Happick into the picture. Looks like everybody single file. See John Shields gets a pass there on the 14 of Kean Fry, I believe that is. Yes, it is. $19 laps to go here in stage 2. Sean Happick looking to make the move on Patrick Camburn. Almost there at the quarter. Dives it in hard into turn 1. Camburn should have the momentum on the high side if he can put the power down. Happick able to get past Camburn now, as Camburn's going to be under attack from his other teammate of Mike Kufel. Travis George gets around Sean Wilder as well, so he's going to be looking to make a charge on our race leader. once again. Oh, we got some movement up here. Matthew Chase looking to make a move on Andre Carvalho. Chase doing a really good job of keeping that truck on the low side. Diving into turn 3, gets the front nose in. Andre is going to be carrying a little bit of momentum from the high side there. We'll see if Chase is able to clear him in turn 1. Almost, but not quite. Andre's still battling on. This is the battle for 8th. Chase got a good run. He got a little loose on the exit, though. So that's going to get Andre back into the fight. Near contact up ahead, Bryce Tucker and Mike Kufel going at it. Try to get both the battles here in this frame. Matthew Chase gets Andre for now, but will Andre hit him with the crossover? Looks like Chase has him cleared, so we'll hop on with this battle. And now Mike Kufel is able to hold on, gets clear of Bryce Tucker as well. Tucker, though, in close proximity, keeping the pressure on. See Mike driving it in deeper than Tucker, but Tucker able to get the run through the center. And on exit, it looks like Mike might be fighting a little bit of a tight truck as Bryce Tucker's going to go dive on the inside. Mike carrying the momentum here on the high line. Just about even as they come down the front stretch here. Bryce Tucker has the advantage of the low line again on the center of the corner. Contact up front! Contact between Sean and Sean. It's going to bring out our caution. We briefly saw it. Go back and see what happens. Oh yeah, Wilder just gets loose and not really anywhere to go. For the 52, Sean Happick. Patrick Camburn with a hard hit as well. Andre gets a little piece of it. Looks like everybody else is able to get around without contact. But yeah, again, I want $1 for every time I mention it, but again, another victim of turn 2. Yeah, just tries to save it and counter steers into the outside wall and then gets on the power again and loses it again. I'm not really sure what happened there, if the damage just got to him or what, but so a couple guys going down pit road, our leader staying out. So I believe we might still go for the stage here. Here, I think we saw just a little bit of damage on the 52. Now, these drivers in our truck series will be gifted with a fast repair. We'll see if Happy elects to use it. We'll see Sean Happick had some damage last week at Chicagoland, and we saw how it affected him. It looks like Patrick Camburn's got a little bit of damage as well from the secondary contact with Sean Wilder. So unfortunate for both of the Seans in this race. Wilder definitely getting the worst of it. yeah, lights are off on the pace car, so we will get rolling again. We'll see if Happy can hold on with that damage as well as Camburn. Happy gets a good launch, so Travis George stalls out a little bit on the outside line. So if that damage isn't too bad, Happy might be able to get himself a position, at least momentarily. We see one truck slow there on the bottom. That's the 29 of Zachary Tyler. But yeah, Travis George able to get the run. We're going to be 3 wide now into turn 3. They sort it out, though. Happy able to hold on. Patrick Camburn looking to fight on the outside. Camburn does clear him. Sean may be a little bit loose. I don't know if he was trying to get out of the way or if he just was loose, but number 7 of Bryce Tucker makes contact as Sean Happy starting to fall. Contact in the back. Ian Fry, Kyle Rogers, I believe, was involved. Looks like they hold on to it, so we stay green. 2 to go. Gonna be coming to 1 to go this time by. Yeah, that damage definitely a fact, and Happy starting to fall off here. We'll see if Travis George has anything for David Meacham on this final lap in stage 2. Camburn getting a little loose. Chase gets loose on the exit of 2. Meacham protecting the bottom. Gets a good run through center. Can Travis put the power down? He can, but it's not going to be enough. David Meacham takes stage number 2 as well. So a lot of movement there. Apologies, misclick. Sorry about that. We'll see these guys make their way down pit road. The guys are going to elect to stay out and get a wave around, try to get back on the lead lap. Looks like Sean Wilder is out there. Brad Dorr is out there as well. Hunter Jock, John Shields. Maybe they're staying out for a little bit of strategy, though. We will see. Looks like Happy did take that fast repair, so he's going to go ahead and elect to use that. Maybe felt as if the damage was a little too much for him. Yeah, I forgot actually some of these guys ended up pitting with that contact, so. Sean Wilder has a little bit of contact there, but might end up benefiting from it. It's going to put him out front. Green flag racing this time by. And Meacham has had clean air up front. See how he can battle here as he goes through traffic. Green flag out. Sean Wilder gets a great jump. Three wide in the back. Seabolt. Close contact there with KT. Three wide. Meacham gets a little loose. We've got a caution. We saw these two making contact in 1 and 2. And Kyle Rogers, same thing as Sean Wilder. It looks like gets loose and tries to hold on to it. Nowhere for Seabolt to go, so it looks like this incident stays between these two. Teammates as well. So caution flag out again. Hey, Wilder, this is Bryce up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
Oh, doing well up here, man. So we saw a little bit of chaos there for you at the end of stage number 2, but kind of ends up working out here for you a little bit. You end up getting on the front row here for these first restarts. Talk to us about how slick it is coming off the exit of turn 2. We've seen a lot of problems tonight. It looks like a lot of guys are having some problems with it. So how slick is it out there off the exit of 2?
It's just throttle control. It's not too bad. I was trying to go up high at the beginning of the corner and then kind of straight line it off, you know, and that seemed to work. And I think I just pushed too hard at the beginning of that the last stage, and it kind of got my tires a little hotter than I was used to the previous, you know, stage. So kind of got loose off of 2 there once, and yeah, I feel bad for Sean getting in the back of me, but yeah, I mean, you just gotta manage it, throttle control.
Awesome, yeah, man. Well, it looks like lights are going to be going off on the pace car, man. Good luck to you there out the front row, and we will see if we'll see you here later on at the end of the broadcast.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go. So that's your current race leader, the number 99 of Sean Wilder. Has that unfortunate contact towards the end of stage 2, but as I mentioned, it kind of ends up working out for him as now he gets himself on the front row with the number 60 of Brad Dorr up there as well. He's kind of had a quiet race so far, but those two on the front row here for this next restart. Like I said, David Meacham and Patrick Camburn as well going to be in that third row. See how they're able to navigate through traffic. Wilder with another great launch. Still 2x2. Contact up front. Hunter Jock gets into the 60 of Brad Dorr in front of the field. Hard contact with Travis George. Go back and take a look. We kind of saw it there on the corner of the screen. Hunter Jock just doesn't really turn down as much as Brad Dorr may have initially thought, and go around in front of the whole field, and not a lot of room for a lot of these guys to go. All in all, damage pretty minimal. I'll have to go back and kind of take a look at that though, and see.
Yeah, Travis George has got actually a blown motor too. He's limping at the pit road.
Yeah, I wonder if Hunter Jock got a little loose there on the corner entry and kind of had to fight the truck, because he brakes for the corner, but he doesn't really start turning down into the corner. Yeah, it looks like he just, looking at his cockpit view, it looks like Hunter Jock just a little bit later on the brakes and dives it in, and Brad Dorr cuts across his nose. So I would say a little bit of a racing incident, but yeah, that's pretty bad for Travis George, but it looks like he was able to at least make it to the pits, so shouldn't lose a lap.
I
He did lose
think
one lap.
I think he does lose a lap. Luckily, we do give these guys one fast repair, and I think pretty sure he just used it right there. So he's got to cross his fingers the rest of this race.
Yeah, I believe Sean Happy has used his as well. So those are two pretty relatively quick drivers that could be in some hot water if things get a little bit more chaotic. We had a decent amount of runs there in those first two stages, and with the old cautions breed cautions, looks like we're falling victim to that a little bit. Nobody's safe from that. That puts David Meacham back on the front row.
Yeah, Meacham's got slightly fresher tires than Wilder does. I'm pretty sure they're going to show. They may not show right away, but they're going to show probably after another 15, 20 laps minimum.
Yeah, and about, I'd say 10 to 20 laps or so, that should put us within our fuel window as well. So it's really just going to be about who can take care of their stuff the most. But Sean Waters has been doing a great job on these restarts. Gets a little bit of help from the 84. Gamburn's got a lot more damage on that car now. We'll see how that affects him over this run. Everybody fanning out, maybe being a little bit more patient on this restart. Looks like we got one on the wall on the backstretch. And as I say that, that sounded like another blown motor. That's the number 11 of Frank Zimmel. Know who was up in the wall. Let's see. Oh, so three teammates here kind of getting involved in this. Seabolt gets loose on the exit of 2, as we've said a million times tonight. Gets into the outside wall. It looks like Kyle Rogers tries to check up for him, and he gets a tap from behind, which sends him into his teammate of Frank Zimmel. So three teammates there all involved in that incident in some way or another, unfortunately. And let's see, it doesn't look like Zimmel's going to be able to limp it to the pits. I knew he's trying. But these guys are just getting closer and closer to their fuel window here at the end of the race.
Yeah, it looks like Travis George lucked out on that one, so fingers crossing may have helped. He gets his lap back here.
Yeah, still going to have some work left to do of getting through the field, but he's done it once. We'll see if he is able to do it again. The unfortunate thing is the toll that it took on his tires getting back up to the front.
I can tell you right now, there is one driver that did not change tires till the end of stage 2. I can't remember which one it was, but somebody said they were on 76 lap old tires. So somebody's hiding a set somewhere. So let's see if that plays in at the end of the race here.
Yeah, only one way to find out. But I mean, the thing about it, you know, whoever that driver is would really kind of benefit from 2 long runs here. Lights off on the pace car. Again, Wilder has been getting some good restarts, but Meacham was kind of able to hold on there on that last one. Limit the advantage there. There goes our pace car. Yeah, Wilder gets a pretty good jump there. Three wide almost in turn one. That so far they've got it sorted, but we haven't left two. I don't want to jinx it just yet. Okay, we made it past turn two, so that's looking good for this run. Sean Wilder with one hell of an advantage on the restart. Bryce Tucker looking to make a move on the outside of Patrick Camburn, who's got a pretty damaged truck right now. And he saves it.
Yeah,
Matthew
they all
Chase.
saved it.
A little bit of a stack up, but a hell of a save there from Matthew Chase. We stay green flag racing.
That's
a little bit of
hard
traffic
hit
jam.
from
And
behind.
as I say that, teammates get into each other. Chris Weininger hard into the wall. And that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, it's a hard hit.
Yeah, so we see the three, yet again, another incident with three teammates kind of involved here. You see Mike Kufel on the low side, Chris trying to go towards the middle. Looks like he almost kind of hesitates on turning in when he sees Mike, and that just drifts him up the track just a little bit and makes contact with Patrick, and that shoots him down into KT, which then shoots him into the outside wall, who then makes contact with Matthew Chase and the 93 of Thomas Long. So, yeah, that's going to definitely be a fast repair required there from Chris Weininger. Now, if you're Sean Wilder here, you're in a good spot.
What's the fuel?
Happy was saying anywhere between 50 to 52. So of course that could change over the course of the run, but it's kind of what I was going to mention. You know, you talked about the tire advantage, but all of these stop and go restarts are kind of playing into Sean Wilder's favor right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Wilder's on 30 lap tires while the next 8 guys are on 22 lap old tires. So a little bit of a disadvantage, but again, all these heat cycles are doing nothing but help even out the gap with Sean Wilder here. And it looks like the last lap that they pit on was 73 for Wilder and 81 for pretty much everyone else in the top 10. So with about 50 laps, I mean, they're going to be still a little short, but these caution laps are getting them closer and closer. So
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if it's, you said it was 52, 54?
50 to 52 is what we were told.
Yeah, so if I was towards the back, I would have played a little Vegas here, and I'd have come in, tires, top off, and if it stayed green and you're doing good, saving fuel, you can make it.
Well, I
Because
mean,
right now, we're 55 to the end.
yeah, and I mean, at this rate, I mean, at what point, if you're, you know, Sean Wilder or some of these guys up front, do you go ahead and make that call to go ahead and pit, right? Because
Yeah, I don't know if I'd do it if I was up front. If I was in Wilder's position, absolutely. I don't think I would. I wouldn't want to give up that track position. But at the same time, mid-pack back, absolutely, I'd be making that call.
yeah, and I think it's getting to that point where if I'm going to make that call, I'd rather make it earlier than later. I mean, at this rate, you know, we're obviously trending for maybe another 2 or 3 more yellows, but you don't want to wait till that third yellow, because if you get the third yellow and then we go green, it's definitely going to be harder to make your way through the field. So I think if they are going to pit, they need to pit sooner rather than later. But if we keep going the way that we're going, they may not need to pit at all.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on now here. Now that we're in the final stage, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of beating, banging, 3 wide, a lot of door banging. It's Yeah, I don't think we've seen our last caution.
No, not at all. And I mean, we're seeing that's 2 cautions in a row that we've seen 3 teammates kind of have some level of involvement. So nobody's safe really at all. But Wilder again gets another decent jump. 3 wide in a few places, but it looks like right now everybody manages to hold on. And
Nope.
you know, I'm just gonna not say that anymore.
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
That's another big one though. Andre Carvalho, John Shields, Hunter Jock involved. Might need to settle these guys down. See what happens here though. Looks like they were wrecking at a pretty big pace of speed here, so. Oh yeah, Andre just not clear. Turns across the nose of Travis George. I believe that was Zimmel getting contact there as well. And potentially Moser that had some damage, so yeah.
I am surprised that none of the leaders came down right there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that accident wasn't bigger than it was. Andre just kind of goes across the nose there of whoever that was. My brain already forgot. I've got a massive headache, but Travis George, there we go. And yeah, just launches himself into turn 3. So big hit for Andre, and John Shields collected as well. But yeah, I mean, again, a Wilder pit on lap 73, and we're on lap 109, so it's going to be close.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing these leaders got is they're banking on another caution or 2, but right there is the fuel window. And it is kind of a tough call if you know, if you're Wilder or Meacham or any of them up there. Yes, if you come in now, you can make it on fuel, but you're going to end up with old tires. I mean, by the end of this race, if you stay out, you run them old tires out that you got now, and you still got a fresh set sitting there for when you pit.
Well, and I mean, another thing to mention is all of these yellows that have come out within about 2 to 3 laps of the green flag. So they're really not burning a whole lot of fuel on the green flag runs here at all either. So I'm willing to bet even somebody like Wilder, I'm sure as of this moment, he's at least got 30 or 40 laps left in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're clicking that ignition off, I think you're about right. Yep. Yeah, see, another thing, I would not want to be in Wilder's position right now either, because he has control on what everybody behind him does. If he comes into the pits, everybody comes into the pits. If he stays out, as you can see, pretty much everybody stays out. But there's that chance that he stays out and everybody behind him comes in, and then he's a sitting duck at that point.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The further we get into this race, when it comes to pit strategy, being the leader almost is kind of at a disadvantage because everybody gets to go off of your decision. And like you said, you could pit and nobody pits with you, or you could not pit and everybody pits behind you. So it's
yeah, it's tough
call to make. But one advantage that Wilder does have is he's out front. He controls these restarts, and the more and more yellows that we have, the more and more laps tick down that he doesn't have to fight for. And we got one going around. Puts it to the outside wall. Still
yep.
green.
Yep, he's going again.
And
3 wide out of turn 2.
More trouble. We stay green again. A lot of movement, a lot of chaos. So far, the flagman still has the green flag in the air. And we got more contact, and the green flag stays out still, and it's probably going to come out after that hit, I would assume. Maybe not. So Oh, it's definitely going to come out. Nope, it's definitely not going to come out. Brad Dort tried to make a dive down pit road. Just a little bit past the wall. This is crazy right now.
Yeah, he is limping big time.
See, now this is where somebody like Wilder's in trouble, and there's the yellow flag. I think
I'm not even sure where that caution came from.
came from the back. It looks like it says Keegan Fry was involved. We'll hop on board and take a look at it. Samuel Moser just kind of gets on the left rear and sends him around. No real big damage, but let's go back and take a look at it from the rear view really quick and see. I definitely want to take an eye on these pit stops. Yeah, they both kind of just met in the middle. Moser comes up a little, Keen comes down. And yeah, here it is right here. Wilder coming down pit road. Meacham to follow. Meacham fakes it.
Oh, yes, he does. See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
But here's the thing. Meacham last pit on lap 81. So he's naturally going to be about 20 short, of course, if we stayed green. Knowing my luck, I would stay out like Meacham here, and this race would go green, and I would not make it on fuel. I don't know exactly, of course, what the current situation looks like for Meacham, but it's definitely on the riskier side if this does stay green. Guys that came down like Wilder, Happy, Andre, Corey Moore, Camburn, Shields, all these guys, we know for sure that no matter what happens, they're going to make it.
Yeah. Again, the only thing I can think of is Meacham is banking on more cautions here.
And I mean, at this rate, it's a fair assumption to make, that is for sure.
Yeah.
I know how my luck works.
Yeah.
And if I was out there on track, we would not see another flag until it was the checkered, so.
Yeah, which is 40 laps from now.
But with all the chaos that we've seen, you look at how far back Sean Wilder, Happy, Corey Moore are. I mean, they're kind of in the danger zone. So if something does happen and it's big enough, you know, I mentioned it earlier, Happy has already used a fast repair, so he doesn't really have much to lean on.
Yeah, and another problem is Wilder is not going to want to stay back there very long. He's going to be pushing hard.
I mean, hard to really plan, but I almost feel like if you're Wilder or Happy, I mean, you obviously, you know, you don't want to let the leaders get too far away, but you can almost kind of gamble and try to just inch your nose out on corner entry and just hope that the yellow comes out in a timely manner and you get a free position or two doing it that way. We'll see if it pans out that way, but everybody's stacked up here once again. I think if we get like a 10 to 15 lap run here, it's going to get really close for these guys that didn't pit. Top three guys last pit on lap 81. Meacham gets a good launch. We saw Chase have that little contact in one of those stints, so those tires might be a little bit hot as well. I don't know if he's pit since then, but some movement in the back. Moser gets loose, heads towards the inside wall. He saves it. Everybody looking for room. Travis George trying to get around. I believe that's Kyle Rogers.
Oh, reckon out it's one out of one.
Yep, Travis George and Thomas Long involved, so that's going to give Sean Happy. Oh, big junk. I believe that may have gotten Happy 2 spots, though, with how that caution came out. We see it here, Chris Weiniger. Oh, just nowhere to go. Another blown motor for Chris, so that's going to be his night done. Thomas Long gets involved in that, and Just doesn't hold the brake, is what it looked like. Doesn't hold the brake, rolls down the track, and collects Chris in the right rear, and around he goes. And we see 2 guys now, 3 guys on the apron. We'll see if they pit. And there they go. Meacham pits, Tucker pits.
And that's a weird call.
It is a very weird call.
I mean, you gambled and stayed out this last one. You got yourself a gift of another caution. Why come in? I mean, you made your bed. You might as well sleep in it. I mean, Meacham was in second this last caution. If he'd have come in with you know, Wilder and everything, he probably would have stayed right up there. But now that he's coming in, he's going to be at the back of the pack.
Yeah, and that's what I really don't understand is we only went like 2 laps right there. So it wasn't like that run was really long enough to really make that big of a difference between now and that last stop. So definitely an interesting strategy call. I'm with you. I don't think that those extra 2 or 3 laps are really going to make that much of a difference either. So yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. But that's, I guess, going to be up to them to see how they can bounce back from it. But yeah, definitely an interesting one, and we'll have to keep our eye on it and see how it pans out.
Yeah, that puts Wilder back up in 6th. See who's leading now. Looks like Mr. Zachary Tyler and Matt Chase is on the front row. KT and Travis George is back up there as well, as long as and Sean's right up there in the top 5. So we got some names that kind of were up there at the beginning. Then we got a mix of names that started at the back. So it's quite the mixture up front.
Well, and this gets real interesting. Zachary Tyler and Matthew Chase have been kind of about mid-pack all race. Been quiet nights for them. Not a bad night, not a good night, just kind of a quiet night. KT McCann has struggled, I mean, to put it bluntly, on the exit of turn 2. Travis George looks like he's a little beaten and banged up, and I know that he's had to make a hard charge toward the front a couple times. So, I mean, honestly, these top 5 drivers aren't really necessarily safe. I mean, again, I don't know if Matthew Chase has came down pit road, but we saw him kind of get hooked in turn 1 in one of those runs, so his tires might be struggling a little bit as well. So this gets real interesting here in these last, looks like 20 or 34 laps or so. I mean, anything could happen. And again, those guys that just pit are even further down in the pack than, I mean, Sean Happy and Sean Wilder are already on the 3rd row. So
yeah, and those 2 got into a little skiff earlier too, which inadvertently put Mr. Wilder on the front row.
yeah, and he held on to it for a while. A little bit of a stack up there, but Tyler able to get a good jump. Travis kind of stuck locked in behind Matthew Chase here. Oh, Travis George kind of chops the nose of Sean Happick there. They keep it straight. It's going to get real interesting too with Camburn. Looks like he's blending back in through traffic. Close call there between George and KT. Three wide into turn 1.
Yeah, there was just so much under, like, everybody's just trying to hit turn 1 so hard.
And again, you got the 84 Patrick Camburn, who is a lap car, making this real interesting. Sean Wilder looking to put it 3, almost 4 wide at Richmond. That's something I never thought I'd say. Camburn looks like he's trying to get out of the way, but nowhere really for him to go.
Oh, we got a car in the wall. Kept it straight though.
And Tyler and Chase are starting to run away with it near as we got this little traffic jam towards the back. David Meacham making his way up in behind
car
Sean
in the
Wilder.
grass. Sideways in the grass. Come back up the track.
Yeah, I believe
Looks like
that
the
was,
7 car.
Yeah, I was about to say, I believe based on my feed, yeah, it looks like it was Bryce Tucker. We saw him have that contact with Camburn earlier as well, off of 4. Up on board with him. Yeah, that's kind of loses it in a weird spot there. I mean, I've seen it happen, but I mean, the car was just about pointed straight before he lost it. But yeah, just same thing, getting down on the power, a little too aggressive, and around he goes. Gets in the grass. It looks like it doesn't look like he made contact with anything or anyone. So This is going to get real interesting here.
What'd you say happened to Bryce Tucker? Did he get hit or did he turn around on his own?
Yeah, he just got a little aggressive on the power off of 4 and looped it, but no contact with any other car or the wall, so truck is clean.
All right, so it looks like positions haven't really changed too much since the last caution. We got Zach Tyler and Matt Chase on the front row still. Travis George, Sean Happick up to 4th now. And then Wilder and Corey Moore. David Meacham sneaking up there a little bit quick after that last pit stop. He's up to 7th now. And then Sam Moser, Kyle Rogers, and Mike Kuffel rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, it's going to get real interesting here. I mean, these laps are dwindling down, and so is the patience. And we kind of saw a pretty big traffic jam there with that lap car getting involved, and everybody's looking to make the moves that they can and trying to get up towards the front. Set a pretty decent charge there out of David Meacham there. Still a little bit of ways to go before he gets back towards the front, though.
Yeah, here's something for you. The top 3 drivers, Tyler, Chase, George, all started in 17th, 18th, and 20th.
Well, got a little bit of dirt track racing in there with a field invert, but Tyler gets a great jump.
Oh, that was horrible on the outside. We got people beating and banging. That was a huge checkup.
Yeah, I kind of had my eye on the leader there. Didn't really get to see it. Go back and rewind, and some big names involved. Mike involved. Something, yeah, with Corey Moore there. Not quite sure exactly what happened because it looks like...
Yeah, he said he missed a gear.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah, he got like a good initial hit, and then the truck just stopped. And I mean, depending on where that yellow came out, I mean, look, these yellows can go one or two ways. They can really help somebody, or they can really hurt somebody with their starting position on these yellows. So, you know, inside 25 to go now. Again, these laps are dwindling down, and guys are running out of time.
there, there is a lot of crap being talked over the radio right now. The fourth, fifth, and sixth positions are just talking a bunch of crap to the top two.
I can imagine. Were they calling them roadblocks or?
Just surprised, like when somebody spoke up and said, we wanted to be back here just to check out your bumper for the first time this season there, Chase.
Well, if we can stay green long enough.
Yeah, that's what a couple of them were saying. If 5 laps of green and we'll be right up there, they were telling them. Love the friendly banter on the radio sometimes.
Yeah, as long as it's friendly.
Yeah. Zach Tyler got a heck of a jump.
Yes, he did. Travis George able to get around Matthew Chase.
Oh, wreck on the backstretch.
Thomas Long gets loose, gets into KT, and then Bryce Tucker gets into Thomas. Around they go.
Yeah, great first half of the race, but the second half here is really taking a minute.
Yes, it is.
Wilder has made his way back up to third, though. Oh, maybe fourth. It just ticked over again. Looks like Chase keeps his third place position. He's
Well, and the unfortunate thing, these laps keep ticking down. So,
yeah, we're 17 to go right now, and I can tell you right now, the 4th through 6th positions are not. They're not laying back anymore. They're going to really push. So I think we're going to get a lot more caution laps here.
yeah, it's a possibility. Starting to get into fairgrounds territory. 15th yellow of the night, of course, 2 of those being stages, but 13 cautions is getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, first stage we only had 1. I want to say second stage we only had 1 as well, which leaves 11 caution flags here in the second or last stage.
Yeah, and then back to back to back to back as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're only doing like 2 to 3 laps per run here. So it's safe to say that everybody can make it on fuel now. That driver that had that extra set sitting behind the wall, I don't think that matters anymore. I mean, if we had stayed green and maybe got a late caution, it absolutely would have, but...
Well, if it wasn't crunch time before, I guess now it is.
Yeah.
Bottom line kind of stacks up. Chase spins the tires a little bit.
Oh,
Sean
we got
Wilder
some
into
push
David
and beat,
Meacham. Yep, that's not going to end well. Yep, I saw that one coming. Saw that coming. But in other news, that may put Sean Happick in third behind our leader. I'll have to go back and see what exactly started all of this, though. I saw it happen, but I didn't really see what started it. Meacham just has a run. I don't know, Meacham kind of lagging back on that restart, though. I mean, I don't know if that's something we would need to take a look at, but
Yeah.
kind of lags back a little bit. It looks like Wilder trying to take the space, but I mean, Meacham was already there at that time, but man, I don't know what happened there with Meacham. If hop on a cockpit view here and see if there's a little bit of I don't know. That looks borderline. We need to maybe look into that a little bit. I understand the frustration, but it looks like once Wilder kind of turns into Meacham, Meacham just cranks the wheel left and doesn't keep it from being turned left. Those two fast trucks that are pretty much going to have their night potentially ended. Well, an interesting development there. Potentially some penalties that will be issued out there. I'll have to just wait and see what happens with that, but yeah, that does score Sean Happick in P3, so he should get a little bit of an advantage starting directly behind our race leader. To go now, 11 when we cross the line this time by. I would like this thing to enter under some green flag conditions. I'm sure Matthew Chase and Zachary Tyler would just like it to be over now. Happy gets a good jump. As well does our race leader, of course. Happy going to make the move on the inside of Matthew Chase. Chase holding on strong on the outside, makes contact with the outside wall. That should open the door for Sean Happick.
Yeah, we are at 10 to go now.
Yeah, Chase doing a great job, though, holding on the outside.
Oh, car sideways out of 2.
And yellow flag out once again. This time, Samuel Moser involved. Yeah, just a little too hard on the brakes. Truck goes around and to the inside wall he goes. Just loses it on his own on the entry of the corner, and it's going to bring out our 17th caution of the night. Well, again, not really much movement in our top 4 after that restart. I thought Chase was kind of going to be in hot water there. He got a little loose on the exit at 2 and kind of scraped the outside wall just a little bit, and he was still able to hold on to it. We're coming up on overtime territory as well at this rate, so.
Yeah, just like Sean Happy just brought up, the two top drivers right now have not won a race yet this season.
Yeah, so I know they're going to be fighting for every ounce that they can to try to hold on to that, while these guys behind them are going to try to play spoiler. 6 to go, going to be 5 when we cross the line. Next caution will bring out a green white checkered into overtime. A great start from the inside line though. Zachary Tyler and Sean Happick. Sean Happick almost cleared of Matthew Chase into turn 1. Chase gonna have a little bit of the momentum though on the high line.
Yeah, heck of a momentum. Good job. Oh, that's a heck of a break too.
Yes, it is. Close contact there between our top 3. Matthew Chase getting loose.
Oh no.
Saves it.
That's a shame though. Just a little too anxious on that throttle.
Yeah, and look at this. Mike Kuffel now in P3. I know how bad he wants one. Business starting to pick up here at Richmond. That gap, though, half a second between Happy and our race leader of Zachary Tyler. Tyler gets a little loose off the exit of 2. Bryce Tucker does as well. Travis George now looking to make the move on his teammate for 3rd. Mike holds onto it.
2 to go.
Mike Kuffel getting hard onto the brakes in turn 1. Contact.
Oh no, sideways out of 2.
Stay green for now, and yellow's gonna probably be out after that one.
Yep, there it is.
Yep, and the yellow flag comes out.
Oh, Zach Tyler did not want to see that.
No, he didn't, but, you know, honestly, I still don't think he's in a bad spot here.
No, he's doing great on them restarts. He's getting a good jump off from it. Yeah, he's getting really good jumps, so Happy's got to try to time that just right with him.
Go back and...
I mean, if I'm Tyler, the second my nose hits that Geico restart zone, I am gone.
And Kyle Rogers just gets into the left rear of Travis George, sends Meacham around just a little bit, and Bryce Tucker finishes off Corey Moore. So, again, some front runners involved in that one. Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, we've had so many cautions that Frank Zimmel, I believe, was about 6 laps down not that long ago, and he's gotten every lap back now. He's back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's interesting stat. Well, lights off on the pace car. I know Zachary Tyler just wants to get a good start, and he just wants to see that white flag fly in the air.
Yeah, let's see if Sean has upped his game on restarts.
Yeah, it's going to be the moment of truth here. And doesn't get the greatest restart, but, I mean...
It's not horrible.
Not horrible. No real pressure from behind right now. Mike Kufel. Bryce Tucker driving it in deep into
We're going to have
turn
another
one.
caution.
Yeah,
Maybe not. I don't know how that
good.
stayed green.
That'll be one. Yeah,
there it is.
And that's two, so we should only have one more, right?
Correct. I'm trying to figure out what happened here out of turn one, though. It almost looked like a car spun and then disappeared.
The 93 of Thomas Long is what it looks like. Yeah, so, okay, Thomas Long got hooked by Kyle Rogers.
I'm going to guess Rogers might have hit a point thing and got disqualified. Because, I mean, mid-slide, he just disappears.
Yep. Yeah, I believe you are correct. Either he disconnected or, like you said, got disqualified. Either way. I believe this will be the final green-white checkered of the race.
Negative. This is number 2, so they get one more after this if we need it.
I think we're going to need it.
Yeah.
Just a feeling I have. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just got a hunch.
Man, I really thought that this race was going to do really good. Like I said, the first half was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the truck series. This has kind of happened a couple times where the first half of the race is great, and then it's just, I don't know if it's a lack of respect from guys or a lack of patience or what, but like I said, the first two stages, I think we had at most 4 cautions. I mean, I don't even think it was, but let's just say even at the most 4 cautions, and now it's 2 laps to go, or 2 laps before we get a caution.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a lack of respect or a lack of patience or I understand it's the end of the race and everybody's pushing for what they can get, but I mean, I believe we've done the last 70 laps under yellow. I mean, guys can't even really race, so I don't know. But lights are off on the pace car once again.
Yeah, again, what I'm seeing, like, a lot of it's happening into turn 1 now. Like, most of the wrecks normally happen out of 2 and 4, but I think everybody's just under braking and just trying to dive bomb into 1, which causes the wrecks up into turn 1 too. And we're green again. See for how long.
Yeah, and Mike Kufel gets a better launch there that time around. Sean Happett kind of had to check up there a little bit. That's going to put Happy under some pressure from David Meacham now. So Tyler going to take the white flag here. We'll keep our eye on this battle for second, though.
Yeah, next flag ends it. Caution or not. Oh, speaking of, somebody sideways into turn 1.
And David Meacham gets loose on the exit of 2. He puts it into the wall. Bryce Tucker does, trying to avoid him as well. Our top 3 really close here, but it looks like our finishing order will stay the same. Zachary Tyler, Mike Kufel, and Sean Happick. And it looks like Matthew Chase still going to be able to bounce back after cutting through the grass, and it's showing him to be scored in 4th.
Yeah, wow, that's a heck of a...
But I want to go back and look at... I saw Bryce Tucker in the corner of my eye head on with the wall, and he finished in 5th. So I'll go back and take a look at this and see. And David Meacham gets loose in front of Tucker. Tucker has to make a hard left to avoid getting into him. When he does that, it upsets the truck. Bryce Tucker does make contact with the outside wall, but he kind of hits it flat. That brings Chase into the equation. Tucker trying to throttle up, gets a little loose on exit, and Matthew Chase does walk away in P4. And David Meacham still able to hold on to 6th. What a race.
Yeah.
And I know one guy who will probably be the first one into the waiting room.
That's going to be Kufel, no doubt.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yep. I called that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight for just a moment. We will get guys into our waiting room and get them going, and we will be right back for our post-race interviews. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our drivers in the waiting room ready to go. We will start with our 3rd place finisher, number 52 of Sean Happick. You had a chance there. We felt like probably some of the better strategies, but just really couldn't get some momentum going there with all the cautions there at the late run, but you're still able to walk away with a podium here. That's going to definitely help continue to propel you forward here for the end of this chase. How does it feel to walk away with a P3?
I'm very excited at Richmond to get this 3rd spot here. I beat a lot of good guys out. I was able to just kind of stay out of it more than a lot of guys, and I really don't think I ever broke it loose too bad. There's a few times I kind of scared myself, but I had pretty good control over the truck tonight. With those short runs, I told Zach about 4 cautions ago, I don't think I had anything for him. I think if there was a 10, 15 lap stint, like I was telling him in waiting room, I think I could have worked my way maybe around him, but he was quick on those first few laps. And that last restart, I tried to anticipate his go, and I jumped in front of him. So I had to let off a little bit, and then that's when he went. So that's why Mike was able to get around me. And yeah, that's it. I'll take a P3. Very deserving for those 2 in front of me there.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that, with how many cautions that we were. I mean, I want to see if I can get a little bit of insight from you. We were kind of talking about it here on the broadcast. The first half of this race went phenomenal, and then it's just kind of like all hell broke loose there. I mean, was there anything that you felt you saw or heard out there on the track that contributed to all the yellows, or guys just pushing too hard or not respecting others? I mean, what if any, do you think was kind of the cause for all those yellows there at the end?
I think with like 30 laps left, I was hearing from some of my teammates that those guys in the back were just being really aggressive. Like it was like going to be the final lap in the lap, it was like 2 to 3 to go. He just felt like they were being really aggressive in the back for some reason. I don't know if a lot of good guys got shuffled back there and was being really aggressive, or people just thought 30 to go is the time to hammer down. I'm not sure. I know some cautions happened up front too, but that was just our observation there.
Gotcha. Well, you're able to walk away with a P3 here at Richmond Raceway. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out or thank?
Oh, just you guys. Always look forward to watching the broadcast back. I'll probably be real excited to watch that first 100 laps, and then I'll probably turn the last stage on as I fall asleep.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, again, congratulations on P3. glad to have you here, running and all the help that you provide. So, again, congratulations on your P3 finish. But now, talk to the man that we knew was going to be the first one in the waiting room. The number 9, Mike Hufel, has an up and down race, but able to walk away with a P2. You have a strong start on that last restart, man. Talk to us. How does it feel to finally get yourself here on the podium tonight?
I gotta go pay. It feels good though, man. Like I said, it's been a long time, and I've tried hard to get here, and felt like I put in the work, and finally went my way this evening. But yeah, that last restart, I felt pretty confident with restarting on the bottom line. And thought I'd be able to kind of time it because it seemed like Zachary was kind of going early in the box, and he didn't go as early as I anticipated. So I kind of gave him a little tap there to get going. But it was good. I'm glad the truck stuck to the bottom. He started backing it up a little more into 3, and I was coming full head of steam, so I had to pick up a little more. I didn't want to be the guy to punt him out of the way for it. So just held him there, but excited to be talking with you guys at the end of a race.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys struggling with the exit of turn 2, and even a couple guys struggled with turn 4. How important was throttle management here at this track with all the self spins that we were seeing out there tonight?
Extremely, and I feel that like 6 months ago, that's something I also would have struggled on. But between racing with you and something Kern had always told me that stuck with me was to pretend there was an eggshell under the pedal, and that was key. Felt that in practice as well. If you got on it too hard or tried to just romp on the gas, you were going to be seeing the inside wall before the next turn. It was huge. Yeah, throttle management was everything here tonight, and it was pretty slick. So made a big difference.
Gotcha. Well, 2 more questions for you. The first one being, how important does getting the second place? What does this do for your confidence? I mean, of course, everybody would like to come away in first, but you've had some, successful races that you maybe just haven't been able to really, put the final nail in, and rather you getting caught up in some accidents or making some mistakes on track. What does this finish do for you? I mean, I know we've only got 2 races left on the schedule, but what does this do for you as far as your confidence moving forward in your iRacing quote unquote career?
It's a huge boost of confidence because short tracks is something I have always loathed, and earlier on in my career, if you call it that, was to take provisionals on short tracks. But then I learned that you're not going to get any better by doing that. So hanging in there, turning more laps, and just learning. And we did a lot of team practice with us and with the HBR guys as well. And I never imagined being on the podium here at Richmond. This is my second least favorite track behind Phoenix, but just to be up here is awesome because I had told myself going into this evening that a top 10 would be just as good as a win for me. So to get second, then that's over the moon excitement.
Gotcha. Well, last question for you here tonight before we let you go.
Well, hang on. I have a question for this guy. What do you mean second to worst track? You don't like this track?
I can't stand this track, man. But after tonight, I'm coming around a little bit more.
I would hope so. I mean, a second place finish is a heck of a finish for a track you don't like.
Very much so, man. But yeah, that eggshell tip definitely came into play tonight because that has never been my style. So I thank you for those words of advice.
Yeah. Well, next time before you end up racing here again, I'll get you to where you're liking it because there is a trick that I use here that gets me a win just about every time, and I didn't see anybody using it tonight. So hit me up next time.
100% will do that, and thank you.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to give any thanks or shout outs to?
Absolutely. Always a thank you to the missus for letting me do that. My little son's back here kind of being my crew chief and spotter. So thanks, Zachary, for helping me out there. And, of course, the KNW guys for all the practice we put in. It didn't go their way this evening, a lot of unfortunate things, but thank my teammates for the help and the practice and get me here. And thank you guys, as usual, for putting it on. I know all the hours that go on behind the scenes, so thank you guys for broadcasting this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congratulations on P2. And now we get to talk to our race winner, the number 29 of Zachary Tyler. A little bit of beneficiary of some late race cautions there. You didn't really have to fight too much there at the end, but you definitely had the short run speed, man. Talk to us about how it feels to get there on the front row and get yourself a win here in this league.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a long time coming. I feel like I had a lot of fast cars in other races, but just being on the IPL list, got off starting on some short tracks and just never able to get out of the hole. So I'm happy tonight I was able to put it all together and bring home the W.
Yeah, and I believe you started 20th, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I had EOL, so definitely started in the back and took the first 80 laps, first two stages, didn't change any tires, just saved them to the end if I needed one, extra set, and move them up from there after my
You
EOL
were the
done.
one I heard come over the radio and say that, didn't you? You came over and said you had like 74 or 75 lap old tires and let some
Yeah.
people by, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. After that caution came out so close to the end of the stage two, I basically let everyone know I'm on the IPL, so I'm not trying to have any X's. So I definitely pulled over on the front straightaway and let everyone behind me by, so they can have it out for the stage. And I was more worried about bringing home a chip or a race win later on, hopefully by the opportunity. And everything just kind of went my way.
This guy goes 2 stages without tires, leaves a set for the end, and doesn't even use them. They're still sitting back there.
Yeah, and then when I pitted after the end on 100 lap, I think I pitted like 101 to see if it go the rest of the way without needing gas. I only had 99% tire wear. That's really thanks to David Meacham, my teammate. He definitely took me on a practice session before this race started because I just bought this track literally 6 hours ago. I never had Richmond until today. So he took me in practice session and told me, how to save tires and where to hit and what to look at in terms of entering the corner and where to be at. And it helped me out tremendously. I'm feel bad for him that he wasn't able to get to W because his car was dominant all day until he had to pit and lost track position and got back in the back of the field. But I wouldn't have been able to win without him today.
Nice. Well, that's a good shout out. You got any other shout outs that you got to let out?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just really ecstatic to be in this league still and to finally put all the hard work and to hopefully be off the IPL. I should be after 160 or 70 laps today. And looking forward to bigger and better things, and happy you guys were able to call the race for us. You guys do a great job week in and week out, so I really appreciate that, and just thankful to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the win. I'm sure with the way you race tonight, this won't be the last time we see you up here. So good luck next week. Hopefully you get some more practice laps in there, especially with teammates. It always helps. And again, congratulations on the win, dude.
Thanks guys so much. Really appreciate it. Have a great one.
Yeah, you too. There you go. That was your race winner, the number 29 of Zachary Tyler. We got the final race results pulled up here in the booth. Again, we talked to our top 3, but Matthew Chase able to come away with a top 4 finish after having that late race kind of dive down there into the grass. He's able to salvage a P4 as well as Bryce Tucker in P5. And David Meacham still gets a top 6 finish. Again, he had some trouble tonight after getting back there towards the back with some track position, but all in all, P6, not a bad point stay for him. Frank Zimmel in P7 with Kean Fry in 8th, Corey Moore in 9th, and Travis George in P10. And then, of course, you'll see the rest of the results down there below, but it was a hell of a race to call there. First half was absolutely amazing. The second half, it got a little repetitive there with the cautions, but nonetheless, to the benefit of Zachary Tyler, Mike Kufel, and Sean Happick. So I'm able to get it done. We will be off next week for Mother's Day, so make sure to tell your mothers that you love them. And we will be back on Friday for some more racing in the Cup Series. We will be at, I believe we're at Michigan. So that's going to be definitely a fun one to watch. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in and being a part of the broadcast and supporting your drivers in chat. And we will see you guys on Friday. Goodbye.